Hi guys, I'm Jacqueline Dutt, your YPN 2024 chair. I'd like to congratulate all of our Who's Who Under 40 award winners and Hall of Fame recipients this year. These members are recognized for their excellence in sales, community involvement, and leadership. Today we are hosting a podcast with a few of our Who's Who Under 40 Hall of Fame inductees this year. We have Giorgi, Michael McNamara, and Stephanie Teeters today here with us. So are you guys ready for my questions today?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So we'll start with you, Nick. Can you share the pivotal moments in your career that you feel has contributed to you being recognized as a Who's Who Under 40 award winner 3 times? What has inspired you to pursue your path, and how did those experiences shape your professional journey?
So honestly, one of the very first things that happened to me right when I joined the real estate world, I'll never forget, I was literally signing on with my brokerage. At the time, the WCR president was in our office, and I was literally signing my paperwork with the broker, and she came in to ask a question to the broker, and the next thing she knows, she was inviting me to a WCR luncheon.
Oh, fun.
I ended up not knowing anybody, went the next day, and that was just kind of that leader lending a hand out and bringing people in to lift somebody up as a new agent. And from there, my leadership journey just kind of spiraled. From there, I ended up getting involved with the local Young Professional Network. I currently sit as the vice chair of the Nevada State Young Professional Network. I also sit on a national NAR committee from there. And so I do feel that it's now our duty as leaders to give back and lift others up as you climb, so that way you're giving back to the community and helping somebody else like realize their full potential and be able to grow into who they are and join the leadership roles, because honestly, it's a huge game changer and helps your business in multiple different ways.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, Stephanie.
So I was, I wouldn't say like a brand new agent, but still doing multiple things. And as an agent, I had this condo sale that was, $250,000, and it was just, a normal average sale. And it turned into her daughter buying the $250,000 condo. Then it was a house for $500,000, and then it was another house for $600,000. And then she called me one day and she was like, "Look, I want to sell my $1 million house." And so it just spiraled into that. And after that, 1 million turned into 2 million, turned into 4 million. And it just was really made like a confidence setter for me. Like, I know what I'm doing. I can do this. So I think that was the pivotal moment for me, was just keeping that trust in that relationship with my client to where they were like, "We like you, we trust you, so we're going to use you." And then it just, like I said, it spiraled, which I think helped drive the success for
It's like a dream client.
Yes.
And so mine's very different. So for me, it was how I got into the industry. So I started as a personal assistant for a large team. I built systems. I learned the back end of the business first, became an agent on the team, and started producing that way. And so I've kind of experienced each part of the process as I've gone through my career. And I believe that that's really helped me understand the whole process that a client has to go through to make sure that the customer service level is there, so forth and so on. And I think that's why my clients keep returning back and why my production keeps going up.
I mean, that's a really similar journey to me too, starting kind of like from the bottom and then working your way up.
Yeah.
Okay, so Stephanie.
Oh, Lord.
Challenges and overcoming obstacles. What were some of the significant challenges you faced while climbing to the top of your field? And how did you overcome these obstacles? And what advice would you give to young professionals facing similar hurdles?
So I think my biggest obstacle, and this is going to sound very superficial, is my appearance. I am heavily tattooed, but some people, I know, shocker. Some people take that as an unprofessional appearance look, as you will, and some people don't want to work with me because of that. So in the beginning, as a brand new agent, I very much sheltered that. Like, I didn't have both sleeves. I hid it from people until I really embraced it. And I think that was my changing point, was this is who I am, and it's be you. I would say my personal biggest obstacle was really getting in that mindset of like, it doesn't matter what I really look like. I can do this. I think the advice I would give to everybody is be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that's what really gets you out there. So it was really awkward and uncomfortable. Like, this is me. This is all of it. Like, this, what you see is what you get. But it really just, people could really feel that authenticity, and they just trust you more.
I also think you'll end up attracting people that appreciate who you really are.
Yeah, like
Right.
if you
Like
don't want to
your
work with
crowd.
me because of the way that I look, then that's fine. Go work with someone else. But it's just because I look a certain way, or you're right. It goes back to like that. I wouldn't want to have that same reciprocation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. You're being authentic to who you are,
Very much.
You're like very much so. Okay, Mike.
Obstacles for me, it's all personal. So in the beginning of my career, I was in the industry for the wrong reason, in my opinion. So, my parents are doctors, sister's an attorney, other sister's a CPA. I was the one that quit school, jumped in a car, drove cross country. And so in the beginning of my career, yeah, exactly. So beginning of my career, the first 5 years was prove to the family, and I'm very close with my family. We all love each other. It's awesome. But it was always in my mindset of prove to the family that you don't need to go to college to be successful. And I think that that worked. It made me work my ass off to be successful. But at the same time, you hit a limit. And then, in my opinion, it starts to hold you back. And so I went through PSI or PSI, which was a personal development course, and kind of had me realize what I'm doing. And when I shifted that and started to look at it and say, okay, why are you in this industry? What's important to you? Is it client customer service? Like, what is it the money you can make? And when I shifted it to everything about my clients and their experience, my business doubled the next year. And even now, now I'm at a certain level, and it's how do you get to the next level? What is holding me back personally? Is it my time being spread too thin? Is it, I have 2 kids? Right now I'm at the space in my life where I'm saying, what is most important? Is it making $1 million a year? Is it spending more time with my kids? Is it becoming, deeper into the real estate industry with Nevada leadership and that kind of stuff? And so I'm currently going through that now just to see where I go next. So it's always been a personal thing for me.
Yeah. And
obstacles.
I feel like that it blends, into everything, and the growth that's, I see you, and you're doing really great. Nick.
So I'm going to repeat the question real quick. What was it again?
What were some of the significant challenges you faced while climbing to the top of your field? And how did you overcome these obstacles? And what advice would you give to young professionals facing similar hurdles?
Yeah.
Any professionals, not just young.
No, right. Absolutely. So, and for me, honestly, I'll agree with both of you, kind of touched on it. It's getting out of your own way and not worrying about so much what other people thought.
Yeah.
When I first got into the industry, I came out of the restaurant and hospitality industry. I had a very good job prior to where I was making a lot of money. I had benefits. I had all of these things lined up for myself. And I had a lot of friends and family that were kind of like, what are you doing? Like, you are literally taking on a whole brand new career with nothing. And it kind of got to me for a little while. And I just started following into mentorship and believing in myself. And, it's mind over matter. And what you want, you can get if you put yourself first and go after it and take on a lot of what others are not willing to do. I think the number one thing in this industry is consistency, whether that be for yourself, for your clients, or your business, well, no matter what. Just like Stephanie said as well, getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. That saying has been one of my favorite sayings since I joined this industry. I think it's huge because, we're not secret agents. We have to put ourselves out there. We have to make ourselves known, and we have to be resilient, because we're going to have a lot of naysayers, and we're going to have a lot of people coming at the industry in different manners. And it's about putting your clients first and making sure that their goals are achieved. And again, making sure that you are working towards goals and goal setting. Like, that's huge, I think, of this industry. And that's where I think a lot of newer agents miss out, is they don't understand that this is a business. In business, you write business plans. You should have a plan in place.
Behind it.
100%. You have to have purpose. You have to have a reasoning for why you're doing it. And when you get off track, pull that business plan out, read it, and that way you know exactly where you're going again, and you get yourself back on track to be moving to the next level, to grow and to build and to become larger than life.
Right. I agree. And when you're out there so much too, sometimes you can just, be dynamic and move around a lot. And you kind of forget what is on the paper. What's
Absolutely.
the science
what the
behind
purpose
it.
is. Yeah.
So I think a mixture of both, where you're out there and you have this formula here, your goals, that's
Correct.
really, really helpful.
Yeah.
And I love what you said too about when you first started, you're in a really comfortable position, but your family and friends were kind of doubting you.
Yeah.
And so you had to block out that noise.
100%. And it was a lot of naysaying and just
that's your community. So
100%.
that's a big deal.
It was 100%. And at the beginning, it was something that I wasn't even going after my family and friends for clientele because of that. I was kind of like, let me come out into this industry and prove myself, and then I'll come back to you. Right. And that's what I ended up doing, which...
I'm just going to say in his first year, he fucking killed it.
Yeah.
He was like lone wolf, and then he came back like, hi, it's me.
Yeah.
He's like, bet, watch.
But that was kind of my motto. I was like,
That's
you told me no,
motivating,
and that was my motivation, was that watch this is exactly how I felt. So
I love that.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. So, Mike, we're going to start off with you. So, as a leader in your industry, how do you foster innovation and motivate your team? Can you share some examples of how your leadership has positively impacted your organization or community?
Yeah. So for me, I think everything around leadership is leading by example. And so I can tell my team members, you have to show up in the morning, 8 o'clock, and work till 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. And if I'm not doing that and I'm not producing myself, it's going to have a negative effect. So we lead by example, me and my business partner. It's very important for us to be involved in the community. So I sit on the Ronald McDonald House Board. Everybody on our team has to be involved in the community as well. So that's kind of a rule on our team. So that's one way that we kind of just show them that it's not just us telling you to get involved in the community. We are involved in the community and at a high level. In the real estate industry in general, I run the Nevada Leadership Program, or I'm one of the trustees for that. And so again, it's giving back to our real estate community. And I love the program mainly because in my opinion, it's the only program that's really bringing agents together and showing community. And we're getting to deeper levels of knowing people, because everything's on a surface level these days. So I think those are just two examples of how I'm showing my team, showing my kids how to be a good leader, and it's leading by example.
Yeah, I love that. Like, your actions speak louder than your words.
100%.
Yeah.
I can second that because I'm under on the leadership right now.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
right.
Okay. So can you share some examples of how your leadership has positively impacted organizations, people, individuals, or the community?
So yes, I don't have a team within real estate, but I kind of do actually, though. I mean, I have an assistant and I have a transaction coordinator that are both in separate roles. So I do have people that I oversee and motivate and that help me be the best version of myself. But I think that, my big thing, just like Mike said, is like giving back to the community. Like, we are all in positions, whether you're in real estate or out of real estate, we are all in positions to be able to give back and help the community grow and be pushed forward to be a better society for all. We're out here selling homes to people that are coming in from out of state, but we want to be able to show them that, hey, look, Las Vegas is an amazing place to be. So when I have clients coming in from out of state, I talk about the things that I'm doing outside of the real estate industry and like give them ideas of like, hey, like, you probably don't have a friend base here, but this is a way that you can make it. Come join me. Like, I'm more than happy to bring you in and do this. I currently sit as a board of director for LGBTQ association called Lambda. I currently just graduated the Las Vegas Leadership Program through the Vegas Chamber, which is put on through the
Which is an
city.
intense program, by the way.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was a very intense program, 10 months of learning all the intricacies of the behind the scenes of the city, where we need growth, where we're excelling at, things of that nature. So for me, it's been a great opportunity to implement the things that I've learned into my business. And now that I can give back based on that. So for me, that's huge. I just got done doing like a clothing drive with all of my clients. I invited all of my past clients to come to my house, donate. I did like a coffee and donuts, and they came over.
So
they
cute.
had that, and then
I did the dog park thing too.
I did the dog park thing where we had food, like blankets, things like that. And I'm actually getting ready to do my second annual of that one.
Nice.
So, and then we did pictures with pets. That's what it was called.
yeah.
But then I had like everybody donate so that we could bring out. But it's things that need to have happen in the community. That's what to me community is bringing people together. Whether or not we have teams and we're leading teams, we are the leaders within our industry. Being recognized as the top 40 under 40 in the Las Vegas real estate world, we are the leaders. It is our job to help intensify that and give back to our community, to lift others up and help people when in need.
Whether we know it or not, people are watching us.
Exactly.
And so regardless, you're a leader. And so it's just having that behavior and thinking in the back of your head that you're the example.
Exactly. And I like what you're saying. It's really community.
Yeah.
The real estate, it's community.
100%.
It doesn't have to be just clients, other real estate professionals. It's everyone.
It's everyone. I mean, there's all parties involved within a transaction, whether it be from the client or the lender or the title company. There's so many ways to give back in different ways and get people involved to help grow society as a whole and create Vegas to be one of the best places to come to and to really help that thrive. And I think that through the Las Vegas Realtors, we do a great job of that, especially with our community outreach as well.
Yeah.
If you're not a part of it, you should be, because they do a great
Plug.
Yeah, we'll plug that real quick.
That's where you look at the camera.
Yes, if you're not a part of Las Vegas
Community
Realtors
outreach.
Community Outreach Program, you definitely should be. And then
join
Young
us.
Professional Network does a lot of things as well too, with giving back to the community and lifting up newer agents throughout the industry and giving them a lot of insights on ways to give back and get involved. So I just think that it's an amazing way to start. And from there, you make it your own. That's what all of this is for. Everything is a starting point. And then from there, you make it your own and you evolve with it and grow into who you want to be as an individual and as a leader.
Yeah. Our own real estate journey.
I feel like I don't have to answer it because you guys did so awesome.
You could say ditto.
No, I don't really have a real estate team, but I do have a talk with Mike on this one that I have kids at home. So I feel like that's my team. My family is my team. Just show up. That's really my thing for anybody and everyone. I have 3 kids. So it's, for me, I think Mike said it best, is like, how do you do as I say, not as I do? It very much is that in my household. Like, I'm not going to ask you to do something that I wouldn't do myself. I believe that's how I work in general also, but I don't really have like a team. I'm just going to go ditto for you guys.
Just show up.
Just show up.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Just show up. That's all I've got, you guys. You guys did so great on that. I can't.
But it's true though, like showing up does a lot for you as an individual. It does a lot for your family, and
Well, not just so much, like even I would say like the community outreach and stuff, it's so new. It was so new to me. And it was just someone was like, hey, come join. And I showed up, and then I just kept showing up. And then now I'm in leadership, and you just end up, it snowballs into, I'm here. I've done community outreach.
Like, as you're growing to your tattoo point.
Yeah.
Like, there's other people that have tattoos like you have tattoos that are in our industry that probably have the same issue that you have of overcoming that. And when they see you rocking these tattoos
In this building.
and crushing it.
yeah.
In this building, to be
Right.
exact, I came out of a community outreach thing, and an agent came up to me and was like, I have a question.
Right.
I want to know, like, how are you doing it?
Right.
Because I felt so uncomfortable, and I'm like, just own it. Just be you.
Correct.
And again, just show up. I was like, hey, it's okay to be you and
Yeah.
just do that. So
Yep.
Yeah. See?
I'll
That was
take it.
Great answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go back to Nick.
Oh.
So, what are your future goals and aspirations, both professionally and personally? How do you plan to continue making a difference and staying at the forefront of the field?
You know, that's a tough question. I feel like for professionally, the first thing that honestly comes to mind is, you know, I'm at the point that I want to start a team. I want to start the mentorship, at least program, at least to give back. And I firmly understand what it was to be a new agent. You know, I've only been in the industry for 5 years, and I've, you know, worked my, you know what, off to be to where I am today. But, you know, I believe in I said it earlier, the lifting as you climb. You have to help others out, because at the same token, though, you don't want to burn out yourself. You have to be able to give back to other agents and help them grow. And that's honestly where I'm at professionally, is to be able to keep doing the things that I'm doing at the rate that I'm doing them. I'm going to have to bring another person on so that way they at least are gaining the experience, they're gaining the mentorship, and hopefully it helps them excel in their industry as well. For me personally, like I had mentioned as well earlier, I just got done with the Las Vegas leadership program through the Vegas Chamber. That was such an eye-opener to me that I can't wait. Like literally we just graduated last week from it.
Oh my gosh, fresh.
Yes, very fresh. So I'm so excited to be able to go out into the community and like give back and like implement the things that I've learned in the areas that were like of super interest to me, and to get involved with other organizations that are doing so much good in this community that, you know, some people have no idea about. And, you know, it's just about awareness and creating that awareness. And to me, that's me giving back and lifting them up. But at the same token, all day, every day, that fills my cup as an individual. I think that, you know, in order to really excel at what we do on a day-to-day basis, you have to be able to give back, and you have to be able to lift others up, because you have a team. I'm sure you're aware of it. It fills your cup to see that agent go get their first deal.
Well, and somebody did it for me.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I want to return the favor.
We wouldn't be here without those before us.
100%.
No, 100%. You know, and that's the other thing too. Like, you know, this is a little off topic though, but everyone talks about like not recreating the wheel. But there's so much truth behind that. I remember being a brand new agent.
It's spinning still.
Yeah, absolutely. It still moves because of it. Like, you know, I remember being as a new agent, oh, you're doing this way. Well, I'm going to take that piece of this, but I'm going to make it my own. And then I'd be like, well, why isn't this working? Well, why didn't I just like copy the wheel versus like just implementing one piece of it? So, you know, like, but that's where I think it comes down to the getting out of your own way and pushing forward and helping others while you're doing it.
So business goal, I want to be the #1 team in Vegas. So
Right on.
that
Okay.
has always been a goal when me and my partner came together. We're doing really well right now. We're close to probably 70 million. We'll probably end for the year. We're probably be around 100 transactions, but the goal is number one team in Vegas. And so that'll always be our goal. Personally, so my dad always said when I was a kid, his goal was to make sure that his kids turned out better than he did. And so I truly believe that if my kids are more successful, are giving more back to the community than I do, are just adding value to people, then I've succeeded as a father. So that's my personal goal for everything I do.
I love that.
I think I'm going to second that one. On the kids aspect, of course, I think that's I would say most parents' dream is that their kids end up better than they are. So it's, I know a lot of people talk about generational wealth and stuff. And well, that's great. I also want them to be able to build their own and be successful in their own way. It's not always about money. So be happy doing what they're doing and loving doing it. Professionally, my goal, I didn't really make it that far. I'm not on a team, so it's just continuing to do what I'm doing and just grow up. I love what I do, and I really broke into the luxury market, so I just want to keep growing that and stick with that. As far as staying relevant, it's the same thing. Again, just showing up.
Yeah, there's something my mom would always tell me growing up, and it's just keep on going, you know?
Just keep swimming like
Just
Dory.
keep swimming.
Just keep swimming.
I think maybe she copied that and she just tweaked it a little bit.
But I think another thing for you, though, was that, like, from what I'm seeing from an outsider recently, is that, like, you are really growing into a passion of teaching. Like, you've been doing a lot of classes.
Yes,
you've been
I
leading a lot of people in
have.
different ways. So I think you should touch
it's more
on that.
Managing people. It's same back to how you said the business plan and everything else. A lot of us, my biggest thing that I say is we wake up unemployed every day, and people don't realize that. We don't have to clock in at 9 to 5. No one's checking our schedule to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. So I basically started teaching this IMA, time blocking. It's a bad words in there, but either way, I'm a very structured, rigid person, and I live and die by my calendar. And a lot of agents don't know how to organize their day. We get the running joke that we're late for things, or always, I have so many appointments. You just always meet that person that's super overwhelmed. And so for my giving back portion, it is to teach that more and really hone in on that to, again, we're all in this together. So to help other agents be just as successful and organize their day where it works for them, because we all have our own personal lives on top of that. So to put those two together and show up just for yourself every day and have like a game plan, that's really important to me. And it's to the point of like my kids now bring their calendars and we're like, okay, mom, what are we doing? Let's organize this. And
That's
I
so
have 3 of them.
cute.
So it is, it's a lot. That's my passion project is time management, which is really crazy, but.
Okay, I might call you later. I love be a good calendar. That'd be a good class. So I'm going to start with you.
Oh.
How important is mentorship in your career, and how do you give back to the next generation of leaders?
I think it's extremely important. I don't know where I would be. And I don't know that it's so much I meet with like a mentor weekly, but I do believe in like an accountability buddy and basically someone to look up to. I know Chipman didn't realize it at the time, but I sat at a little table when she was being sworn in as WCR president, and I said it out loud because I'm a manifest kind of person. I said, I want to be up there one day. The next year I was on the board and kind of moved from there. And I saw what she was doing with the community, same thing. And while we were in the same office, it wasn't like a take me under your wing and show me the ways, but I still was able to follow the steps of these are the things that she's doing that I think are great, and they hone in with who I really am. So I took some of those, and then obviously my broker is an amazing broker, and all of those pieces together really provide all the mentorship I think I need. As far as giving back, it goes back to the same. I'm just trying to take what I've learned and with my personal experiences and really give it to other agents and show them the way, I guess. I'm a words of affirmation love language. So like to hear like you're doing great and I would love to learn from you. I just gush, like, let me tell you all the things.
Wow, you're doing great, and I'd love to learn from you.
So for me, I mean, I think that I've spoken about it a lot through today. I'm all about the mentorship. I will never forget when I very first got into the industry, I watched a video. It was by Ricky Carruth, and it was, do not be afraid to pay for the mentorship that you received. At the time, I was on my brokerage's mentorship program. I was aware of this agent that was doing pretty well. They seemed to know the business inside and out. They'd been in the industry for 20 plus years. And I know that I'm a hands-on learner. So I went to her, I approached her, I made a deal with her, and I ended up working under her. And the deal was initially to just work under her for 5 transactions, and then I'd be kind of set free. I ended up staying on for 10 transactions because I saw the value in the mentorship. And like Stephanie kind of pointed
Pay the
out,
money.
my first year of real estate, would not have happened the way that it did probably had I not done that.
Yeah.
And it's about making that realization and recognizing where you can grow as an individual and as a business owner to be able to push forward. And so now, like with all the other little things that I do in my life and between work and personal, I find it imperative to be able to give back to others. We have to lift as we climb. I can't say it enough. You have to lift as you climb, because Las Vegas has 2.3 million people in here. As much as we want to see agents get out of this industry, we can't sit here and do this job without one another. It's about the relationships that we all create with one another to be able to do the job. So who is better to train than I am? I am.
And you would want to work with someone who's like
somebody
you.
who's working like me, because then I know that they're efficient, they're paying attention, they're doing right by their client, and they're taking their own ego and checking it at the door. So that's huge. And so for me, just know that I would rather take somebody underneath my wing to help them and help them be the best versions of themselves to grow, because it's going to be better for our industry as a whole.
Right. When you raise your own standards professionally, it raises the industry standard.
Oh, 100%. I couldn't agree with that statement anymore. I agree with that.
A mentor got me into the industry. I had multiple mentors throughout the industry. And I've always said, I'm not going to copy everything that they do, but I'm going to pick one specific thing that I think would fit my personality and what I like to do, and I'm going to incorporate that into my business. And so that's how I've used mentors as I've kind of gone down the journey. I think it's even more important as we get to a certain level to continue to look for the next level. And so, there's always that surround yourself by the top 5 people if you want to be the top, right? And so I'm at the stage right now where it's, okay, who's the next mentor? Who's doing $5 million a year, who's doing $10 million a year, who's nationally known, things like that. Who can I get myself around that's going to teach me the next step? Because I only know what I know. And so the more I can get myself around people that are better than me, the better I become. So when we started growing the team, we went through a lot of hiccups, things like that. So we were like, you know what? Yeah, a lot of growth problems. Just, it's natural. And we hired a coach for 6 months specifically for that. And I'm all about coaching. And I think you get a certain amount out of a coach and then you hit a wall and it's like, okay, great. We're in a good space. Move on. Right. And so I think it's definitely worth it.
No, and I agree with you. I mean, I have a business coach, but there was a point that I was doing it weekly as to where now it's maybe like once a month or once every other month, because it's more just the maintenance or, oh, hey, I'm experiencing this issue. Like, how do you think that I can go with it? Like, I literally called her earlier this week and was just like, hey, I want to set up a meeting for this week because I have this one thing that I need to like touch on that I'm struggling with as an individual. But again, it goes back to
and I would challenge people to not just look at coaches in the industry.
Like different mindset.
I had a Mike Ferry coach for 5 years, and that taught me a lot about the industry and prospecting, things like that. But there's a lot more to this job. There's a lot more to life in general. If you step out of the industry and you start getting business coaches and people like that, you start to learn a very different angle, different look at everything, a mindset, everything that you do. And so I would stress to people that if they've already had coaches and they've already had real estate coaches, then start looking outside.
Right.
And I will say, maybe not, if you don't do the coach thing, just someone in your office that you can bounce ideas off. Like, hey, I have this weird idea. What do you think? And just get those bouncing with other like-minded individuals, or joining, other outside, like has Chamber of Commerce. I'm looking at Toastmasters. So like all of those things where you can see other
Well, look at what
avenues.
we all said. We all said we like to help people.
Yeah.
And so new agents coming in, like I remember being a new agent and
what
like,
do I do?
should I talk to Joe DiRaffaele? I mean, the guy was doing 120 transactions and I was like, I had a conversation with him and he literally brought me onto his soccer team to coach his son. And then we became best friends. And so, I mean, when agents get to a certain level, the money isn't,
it's not about the money.
It's not about the money anymore. Now it's about, okay, what else how much value? What else can I do? And so if a new agent comes up to me and we tell people at the brokerage, my door is open. So you have questions, come on in. But we want to help. And it's very clear in this panel.
But it goes back to also like something that I mentioned earlier about us wanting to give back and giving back to people is it fills our cup to be able to do that. So it's, it's not selfish, but it's more, we want to help you because we want to see you be the best version of ourselves. Because in 5 years down the road, when we see that person excelling and doing amazing, they are proud of us and
Yeah.
they're proud
I'll
of the
be
person
honest,
that they
I
helped.
think it is
And-
selfish. I want
It's like
I
a
want
domino
that
effect.
feeling good.
right? Like I want to feel good, and if I can make you a badass agent,
Right.
that makes me feel good.
100%. Because at the end of the day, yeah.
Well, we all have the same end goal in real
Sure.
estate, let's be honest. So if we're all like working together and for that same end goal, it's really our clients. That's the end game for all of us, is making sure our clients get what they want. So there's no need for not helping each other, I guess.
Absolutely.
Right.
I agree.
Well, what? Well said. And my friends, am I going to see you all at the Who's Who Under 40 award ceremony?
I'll be
Absolutely.
Yes.
Do you guys know when it is?
August 8th.
at 6 p.m.
6:30 p.m. to
6:30.
9
Show
p.m.
Yeah.
up,
early.
show up at 6 because everybody's late for everything.
Absolutely. See, I was
We'll
planning
say
ahead
so.
here.
Yes. So it will be at the Luminarium at Area 15. So make sure you guys register. Come support our amazing inductees, all the Hall of Fame, the rest of them, award winners, everyone. Come and register.
Thank you.